The text hit my phone like a punch to the gut. Locks changed. You don't have a home anymore. For words that shattered the illusion of safety I'd built around my life. Betrayal doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers in silence, until it roars. My mother-in-law, Eleanor, had taken the relocation money meant for my fresh start, my career leap, and stolen not just funds, but my future. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe and share. Your support keeps the stories coming. I stared at the screen, heart pounding as the walls of trust crumbled around me. Brian was away on a business trip, unreachable, and my new job at Grace Technologies, my hope for a breakthrough, felt like a sinking ship. The family I'd tried to lean on had become the storm. Eleanor's smile had always been too practiced, too sharp. Now I understood why. She'd been waiting for this moment, mocked by whispers at family dinners, dismissed by those who called me just the wife. I had quietly built my life on grit and silent effort. Every late night studying AI innovations, every extra mile I ran at work was invisible to them. They underestimated me, thought my relocation was just a perk, not the key to a door they wanted to slam shut. That night, I sat in the empty apartment, the echo of Eleanor's message reverberating louder than the silence. The weight of being powerless, of being betrayed by family, was suffocating. But beneath the shock, a fire ignited, one fueled by refusal to be broken. When Brian finally called, his voice was a mix of guilt and helplessness. Grace, I didn't know. But Eleanor's manipulation ran deep, and Brian's loyalty wavered under her pressure. I realized then this was bigger than money. It was about power, control, and who owned our story. In the weeks that followed, I fought back, not with anger, but with strategy. I learned to navigate corporate policies, contacted legal aid, and leaned on new allies at Grace Technologies who saw my worth when family couldn't. What started as a desperate clawing for survival turned into a quiet conquest of respect and recognition. At a company mixer, Eleanor appeared, smug and untouchable. But when I spoke about the relocation project's success, how I'd turned obstacles into milestones, the room shifted. Colleagues whispered, eyes widened. I was no longer the overlooked wife. I was the rising star they couldn't ignore, yet Eleanor's shadow loomed large, threatening every step. I knew this was just the beginning. The locks might have been changed, but I was ready to open new doors, on my terms. The day after Mom's text, I sat in the empty apartment, the echo of my footsteps bouncing off bare walls like a reminder of everything stolen. Daniel had flown back to Austin, leaving me with the wreckage of what was supposed to be a fresh start. The relocation bonus, the cushion that was meant to make this transition smooth, was gone. Instead, I had a blank bank account and a sense of betrayal so deep it nearly suffocated me. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe and share. Your support keeps the stories coming. It wasn't just the money. It was the way Eleanor had turned my life upside down, twisting trust into weaponized power. That beach house she'd bought with my funds felt like a monument to her arrogance. Brian's silence, the way he'd taken her side, cut deeper than I'd expected. Every conversation with him became a battlefield of half-truths and cold accusations. At work, I was walking on thin ice, my new colleagues unaware of the storm raging beneath my calm exterior. Grace Technologies was supposed to be my fresh start, a place to prove myself beyond family drama. But rumors traveled fast. Whispers about my family issues and financial drama followed me to meetings and lunch breaks. The mockery was subtle but sharp, enough to make me second-guess my every move. I was the underdog, underestimated by everyone who saw only the mess I was trying to escape. Behind closed doors, I was building my silent success. Long nights spent learning new software, crafting presentations, and finding allies within the company. Every small win was a brick in the foundation I was rebuilding. The relocation crisis, which should have destroyed me, became my unexpected fuel. My resilience caught the attention of Melissa, a senior manager who'd been quietly watching me. She offered mentorship, encouraging me to take on more responsibility, pushing me toward the leadership I never thought I'd achieve. Then came the company's annual gala, a night meant to celebrate success but turned into a public showdown. Eleanor appeared with Brian and Madison, the perfect picture of family unity, while I was the outsider. She smiled with cruel satisfaction, knowing the whispers had reached even this stage. But what no one expected was the announcement Melissa made, praising my project's recent success, a breakthrough in financial tech that promised to double company profits. The room shifted. Suddenly, I was the star, the one everyone wanted to hear from. The woman who had turned betrayal into triumph. But just as I thought the tide was turning, I received an anonymous email, a file containing proof of Eleanor's earlier schemes, the ones Brian had tried to hide. The truth wasn't just financial theft. It was manipulation, blackmail, and a plan to control everything I worked for. The walls closed in again, but this time I was ready. I had the evidence, the allies, and the strength to fight back. The question was, would Daniel stand with me, or would his loyalty remain fractured? The answer came faster than I imagined, and it changed everything. The night Daniel showed up at my door was the night everything truly shifted. He wasn't alone, Stephanie was with him, her expression serious but not unkind. For the first time, the family facade cracked wide open. Daniel looked at me with something I hadn't seen in months, remorse and resolve. "I didn't know, Grace. I thought Mom was protecting us," he said quietly, his voice heavy with guilt. "But this was wrong. We need to fix it. Together." Stephanie handed me a folder filled with emails, bank statements, and recorded conversations. The proof was undeniable. Eleanor had orchestrated the entire scheme to siphon my relocation money into that beach house, all while Brian stayed silent. But now, Daniel and Stephanie were ready to expose the truth. As the days unfolded, I found myself not just reclaiming what was stolen but rewriting the narrative of my life. The investigation led to Eleanor's suspension from the family business, and legal action was underway. The media caught wind of the story. What started as whispered rumors exploded into headlines about betrayal, greed, and a daughter's fight for justice. At work, my reputation transformed overnight. The woman once mocked for her family drama became a symbol of resilience and integrity. Invitations came in for interviews, speaking engagements, even leadership panels. The very project I'd nurtured in secret, fueled by late nights and sheer determination, was now the cornerstone of Grace Technologies' future. But the biggest surprise was Daniel. The crisis forced us to confront our fractured marriage. We spent long nights talking, untangling years of silence and disappointment. Slowly, trust began to rebuild. He apologized, not just for standing by Eleanor but for letting me face everything alone. It wasn't perfect, and the scars would take time to heal, but we chose to fight for us. One evening, as the sun dipped behind Austin's skyline, I stood in my office, reflecting on how far I'd come. From the humiliation of losing my home to the unexpected power of standing up for myself. I realized something vital. Success isn't just about money or position, it's about reclaiming your voice and refusing to be silenced. Then, an email popped up from Eleanor. It was brief, a shaky apology and a promise to make amends. It wasn't the closure I'd imagined, but it was a start. For the first time, I saw not just the villain but a woman who'd chosen power over love and was now forced to face the consequences. At a women's tech conference weeks later, I shared my journey. The room was full of faces eager to listen, to learn from my story of betrayal, resilience, and hard-won triumph. As I spoke, I felt the weight lift, knowing I'd turned my darkest chapter into a beacon for others. The locks had been changed. I lost a home. But I gained something far greater, a new life built on my terms, with strength no one could take away.